Hi, my name is Lori, and today I'm going to be explaining what the styrofoam roller does. It's pretty interesting. It's a very simple design. I wish I had developed it myself, but I didn't. It's 3 feet long, and it's 6 inches in diameter. And the purpose of this wonderful prop is to release myofascial tissue throughout the whole entire body, from head to toe, front and back. So what we do is we use our own body weight with gravity to just melt and release and let go all throughout the body on the roller. So there'll be videos following this which will explain and where I'll demonstrate and explain. So the purpose of releasing myofascial tissue is to let the muscles and the organs and the body just move more freely. So I like to equate it with like a lemon or a lime or an orange, where you roll it a lot on the table before you cut it up so that the juices are more flowing. So that's the same kind of thing with the roller. And it takes about 90 seconds on each body part to get everything really open and flowing so that you can move through your day in a better, easier way. So what that does, the myofascial tissue is kind of like the area between the skin on the orange and the juicy part. So, and that just, it's like a web-like substance. It just covers your whole entire body and keeps everything between the skin and the muscle. And so that's what the area is. It's also the area that the massage therapist releases and kind of mushes up and lets everything go. We are going to release the myofascial tissue along the spine by sitting on the end of the roller, totally supported with the hips, and then lying all the way back so the head is completely supported on the roller. So the purpose of this is to release the myofascial tissue in the latissimus dorsi muscles along the spine. So this is really comfortable. We make sure that our ankles, knees, and hips are all in alignment with each other. Make sure that the head is completely supported. Don't be afraid to wiggle around. It's kind of a balancing act at first, but after a while and through practice, it will become more comfortable. So what we do is, it's easy. We're just laying here and breathing. That's easy. We can breathe, we can play a song, listen to music. Just do it for at least a minute and a half, where we're breathing and letting everything just melt over the roller, almost like a frozen ice cube in the hot sun. Just melting. So what we can do after we've laid here for a few times and a few moments and listened to our favorite song, then we can begin to move just nice and easily. So we'll take a nice breath in the center, inhaling, and then exhaling. The whole body comes over to the right side of the roller just before the body wants to fall off of the roller. So what this is doing is it's opening up the whole right side of the body, the external oblique area and the core. And then we have options here. We can play around with this. We can bring our left arm out and tee it out from the shoulder with the palm up and let that arm just float toward the floor, maybe not even touch the floor, but just let it float toward the floor nicely. And then we can bring our left foot over to meet the right foot, bringing the knees together, and then let the knees go in the same direction as the hand. And then if we want a little more stretch, this really is good for where the external oblique attaches right here to the hips, and it's also good for the outer muscle on the upper thigh. So we can turn our head and look at the fingers and breathe. Close our eyes and breathe. And then we'll come back to center after a minute or two. We'll come back to center, lift back up, come back to center, and just take a moment to enjoy the differences between the right side and left side of the body. Because you're going to feel a difference because we haven't done the other side yet. So then when we're ready, we'll just roll to the left side of the roller, just to that point before we fall off. And then we'll bring that right arm out, let it just float toward the floor without force. We're not forcing it down there, we're just letting it float. Palm is up to protect that rotator in the shoulder. And then we'll bring the right foot over to meet the left foot, bring the knees together, and then let the knees float toward the right side of the room. Ah. So we just breathe here and let everything melt and release. I can lift my head and turn and look at the fingers on the right hand if it feels safe. You know, just always make sure that everything feels safe, that we honor our bodies always, that every time we are on the roller and on the mat, it's a whole brand new experience. So what we did last time, we may not want to feel like we can do today, and that's all perfectly fine. So when we're finished, we'll come back up to center, releasing the hand, releasing the feet so that they become more in alignment with the hips. And then we can start to do a little more shoulder work. So we can lift our arms all the way up toward the sky, and the palms are shoulder width apart here. So then I'm just going to lift my fingers up toward the ceiling. The shoulder has come off of the roller, and then I'm protracting and retracting the shoulders. Oh, this feels so good. So then the shoulders are going to start to hug the roller when they come down, and then they'll release from the roller when they reach up. And then we just float this up and down, protracting and retracting the shoulder girdle with the breath. And this is a great prep for downward facing dog. We'll do that a few more times. And then we'll lift our right arm up over the head. Thumb is on the floor, palm is inward. And then the left arm comes down toward the hip. And then we'll just start to switch our arms with our breath. So it's a balance challenge here also. Inhaling, one arm up, the other arm down. And then exhaling, one arm down, the other arm up. We keep going with that. It's really nice for the shoulders. So from here, we can reach both arms up. So the thumbs are touching the floor over the head or yearning for the floor over the head, maybe not forcing it, just doing what feels right. And then we can just bring our hands back down alongside the hips with a breath, inhaling the arms up over the head, and then exhaling the hands down toward the hips. We can do that a few times too. And then the next one is really a wonderful, it's a new sensation, it's really wonderful. It helps release the iliopsoas muscle, which is the deepest muscle in the core, and it gets shortened because we sit so much. We drive all the time, we're at our computers sitting all the time. So this roller lets us lift up 6 inches off the floor, and it helps give more gravity, so we get more of a lengthening in the front line of our bodies. So we're going to extend our legs long and keep a soft microbend in the knees, so the knees are not hyperextended. So the feet are flexed, toes are toward the ceiling, heels are on the floor. And the arms are just resting alongside the hips. Everything's nice and comfortable here. And then what we're doing on our exhalation is unweighting both legs at the same time, like we're going to lift both legs, but we're really not going to have much movement as far as looking at movement, but we're going to feel some nice deep movement and release and lengthening in the front line of the whole body. So on the exhalation, we unweight and pretend like we're going to lift our legs toward the sky, but keep our heels on the floor. And then on the inhalation, we release and just subtly shift around, kind of get looser. And then on the next exhalation, we're lifting the legs, keeping the heels on the floor, and then releasing down. So it doesn't look like I'm doing really anything, but I can feel a lot of good opening and awareness in my iliopsoas and the deep muscle in the core. We'll do that one more time. So for added stretching, we can lift the arms up. These are all just options. Maybe not feeling good today, but just maybe a couple more times of viewing this. You may think, oh, okay, now I can lift my arms up too. It's a balance and a trust thing. So then we can unweight both arms and both legs at the same time on the next exhalation, but keep the thumbs and the heels on the floor as we do that. So I'll do that one more time. Exhaling, lifting, unweighting, and then inhaling, replacing the weight. Now I'll bring my hands back, bring the feet back to the mat, and we'll call it good. Thank you.